Discrimination against Māori, still a problem in New Zealand. 0, strongly disagree. 5, strongly agree. I'd probably put a 4 for that one. I'd say that discrimination is most definitely alive and well, and it's an issue, and I feel that Māori culture is something that we should be embracing.
I think I would say it's a 4.
I would go with 5.
Yeah, I would go with 5 too.
I strongly agree. Absolutely.
I would say about a 2. A lot of people now are putting a lot of emphasis on making sure that Māori have the same opportunity, and at university a lot of the scholarships are specifically for Māori and Pacifica.
I mean, I identify as Māori. I also identify as Pākehā. So from that perspective, I would maybe say a 3 out of 5. But I think we've come a long way, and you have to appreciate the level of intellect that people are applying to the way that they think about a particular culture or a particular group of people.
I strongly agree. My stepdad, who's Māori, whenever we go to a mall together, he gets followed around by security.
5. I'm Māori and I experience that every day.
Ignorant people, when they I'll have a conversation with them, and then because I'm fair skinned, they think I'm white, and then they'll hear my name, and then I sense the attitude change. It's like, oh, okay. That's when I experience the racism, because I have a obviously Māori name.
I think a certain percentage of New Zealand probably does discriminate against Māoris, but a certain percentage also doesn't, so yeah, probably somewhere in the middle.
So 5, I strongly agree. I experience some type of discrimination on a daily basis because of the colour of my skin.
There is systemic bias in New Zealand society that is a result of colonisation. Our generation shares a responsibility to rectify this. Yes, there is systemic bias, but no, it's not our responsibility. Yes, there is systemic bias, and yes, we have a responsibility. No, there isn't systemic bias, so no responsibility is needed.
I feel like, yes, there is systemic bias, and yeah, we do have a responsibility to change just mainstream views on it.
Yes, absolutely. There is systemic bias, and yes, we have a responsibility. Māori have a high rate of incarceration. The highest. They are the highest incarcerated in New Zealand, and you cannot tell me that we're
more inclined to be criminals.
Heck no. It's a result of colonisation. It's a result of bias.
I think that there is a systematic bias as a result of colonisation. It's something that's a lot more relevant overseas. I like to think that in New Zealand we're a bit more forward than that, and we are taking the right steps to move towards it not being a thing.
For myself, I actually lived overseas when I was younger, and coming to New Zealand and everyone kind of saying, oh, New Zealand's so multicultural, New Zealand's so multicultural. That's rubbish. We're not, the way that we treat our cultures isn't.
I would definitely say that there is some systemic bias. English is obviously now the dominant language.
Definitely a systematic bias.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's definitely our responsibility.
It's evident in statistics, It's statistically evident that there's systematic biases. I think fundamentally we have a responsibility to make anything better that we can.
Yes, there is a systematic bias, and yes, we have a responsibility. The settlers, if we're being honest, were racist as hell. They're terrible. And there's definitely that whole problem of white people in New Zealand thinking they're the Indigenous people, being like, yeah, the good old white Kiwi bug, and that's a lie.
If I was having this conversation with someone, I probably wouldn't use any of these answers, but I would say, yes, there is systemic bias, and yes, we have a responsibility, because, who else is going to change it if we don't do something about that?
My answer would be not one of these. I would say, in a way, there is no systemic bias, but yes, we have a responsibility.
There are too many old people.
Are there?
What do you define as old?
It sounds like we're trying to kill people.
What does that mean? No, because everyone grows old.
Yeah, I think it's that generation that's coming through now, just old people.
and we were just chucking them in the retirement villages.
That's just saying there's too many people. Because if there's a massive population, there's obviously going to be old people, and the more people that are born that are young, I wonder going to be old.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know if there's more old people at the moment than there was, but
There is, isn't there? Because I don't have.
but like everyone's going to get older, and it's only going to increase, like because medicine's coming so far.
Nah, it's mean. It's awesome. Like they've lived a long life, and so are we going to say that all these people have lived a long life? They shouldn't be no.
Yeah, screw you, Nana. No, I didn't mean that. No.
In New Zealand, yes. Yeah.
What do you have against old people though? Like,
Hey, I'm just
trying to
saying.
live their life.
No. Like, as a health student reading all these graphs, there's like New Zealand's got this weird, I think the term is like a bottleneck, where there are too many old people compared to the working class.
Do you agree with the following assertion? Previous generations are to blame for the problems that youth have to face today.
I think I agree. I think that youth have not created any of the problems that they have to experience, and what they do go through is a kind of wider societal problem that has been perpetuated for a long time, but definitely not created by them.
There are things like the fact that kind of like education used to be free and it's not anymore, and young people are kind of increasingly succumbed by debt and have to spend their whole working lives kind of with this shadow of debt over them. I feel like to some extent I agree.
I fully disagree with that. I think perhaps previous generations have done things but like every generation has different problems to deal with, I believe.
I think previous generations are responsible for a lot of the issues we're facing today, but I wouldn't necessarily say they are to blame.
Everyone says that we are the generation that's like ruining society, like with our phones and stuff, but we are the generation that like made the phones. You know, we didn't create social media, and it is social media that's having the biggest impact.
Any problems created today are by proxy a generational issue. That any issue that we're facing.
You can't argue it, can you?
Like, you can't. Like, fundamentally, like, if our parents' entire generation had said they don't want to have kids, there wouldn't be any problems today because there'd be no people.
Yes, previous generations are to blame, and at the same time, self-determination is important as well.
I suppose if you have to look at the global warming, who's to blame for that? But the generation before, we could have done better.
Do you agree with the following assertion that in periods of high unemployment, jobs should be reserved for young people?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it should be a good balance. You obviously do need to train young people and give the young people the opportunity to get that experience, but also, still support people that do have experience. So maybe have a good balance where you've got the people with experience training the younger people up for that job.
They've had their time to work, They've had their time. Now they have to make way for us, new generation, who are going to be there for a longer time.
No. Best person for the job should get it.
Nah, they got less experience. I mean, like...
They still need the jobs, though.
Yeah, young people might need the jobs, but at the end of the day, like, the adults are the ones that are going to be looking after the younger people. Like, depends what you say about young people. Like,
that's true.
It's much more... Everyone should just be given a fair chance. It doesn't matter on your gender or your age or your race. Just everyone should have an opportunity at a job for their skills,